A very good morning to you and welcome to the newspaper review reaching live from our studios at High Impact Television. I am Oyin Priye Krumale. And now we are being joined by Mr. Henry Shofowora. He's a public affairs analyst. Good morning and welcome to the newspaper review, Mr. Henry.
Good morning. Good morning. Amazing morning to you. Yes.
Good morning. It's good to have you this morning.
Thank you.
Yes, Mr. Henry, let me quickly bring to your attention a particular story which I believe you're already aware of, which has to do with the October 29th raid of Mariam Odili's Maitama residence that continued to throw up new revelations, where the Attorney General of the Federation has been accused, but he denied knowledge of Mr. Ajodo, who is raising that accusation. What's your take on it?
Well, the most alarming and worrisome factor in this invasion is the fact that for a court justice, a Supreme Court justice, Mary Odili, at that level, can be thrown into something that is just common to any ordinary Nigerian on the road. So, this begins to tell you that nobody in Nigeria is actually safe, because you can see the manner in which the police have to come out to say that there is fake court order, fake policeman, for this. It's alarming. We need to find a closure to some of this kind of invasion, because in every crime, in every developed crime in the world, people who hold this kind of position are well protected, are well guarded. You cannot just go into a home of a Supreme Court justice as if you are going to an ordinary home of Nigeria. And now there is no closure to it. I'm surprised. I hope the MDA will take this further. SAREF has also be involved in this, and I hope they will press to see that this investigation is transparent and people behind it are exposed. That is the way that we can show to the world that we are really serious to protect ourselves and stand by the rule of law.
All right, Mr. Henry, now do remember that previously, before now, some Supreme Court justices and legal luminaries in Nigeria, their homes have been raided either by security operatives. Those were confirmed security operatives. But this, at this time, it's notwithstanding the fact that Mr. Ajodo has been confirmed as a fake chief superintendent of police. But the thing is, what do you think the government can do to halt this trend of raids in top functionaries of the government, of the Federation?
I think one of the most important things to do is that, number one, we need to first harmonize our judicial system as well. Because the way court orders are rolled out, there has not been any form of organized way that these things are done. So the systems of government first need to put their house in order. The security agents need to put themselves in order. Because until some of these things are done in a systematic way that can be verifiable, it becomes your word against mine. We hear the Attorney General of the Federation saying that I know nothing about this. The consultant saying I have been given 29 jobs to do this. So it's not tidy. We need to, this is, the Attorney General of the Federation also have put himself into a lot of distress preppage. It's not being mentioned the kind of things like this. Our institution must come above board. And all these orders being released need a kind of systematic way that these things should be done. Otherwise, it will be very difficult. It is no longer about APC or PDP. It's about our institutions. They need to come above board. They need, not minding who is there or who is in power. That is the way forward.
All right. Okay. Now you just mentioned institution while trying to give your perspective in this particular case. Now, Nigeria has been adjudged by some even by Nigerians themselves, that we have we don't really have strong institutions, but we have strong personalities at the government, at the level of government. How do you think we can overcome this trend so we can strengthen our institutions irrespective of who occupies the ends of affairs in these respective institutions?
Number one, we have to jettison this ethnic appointment strategy. We have to put qualified people in positions. We should stop this idea of using the quota system to put people in position. That itself defeats the meritocracy behind the institution. Because we are not saying that there's no qualified people in each ethnic group, but we have to get our best hands to handle some of these things. That's one way forward. Then number two is to ensure that there is no political interference with some of these institutions, because you must take politics out of our institutions. They are pursuing cases concerning some political, some major political individuals. If we prosecute these people or jail them, it will be a signal to some of these strong political individuals to know that, look, Nigerian institutions are ready to follow the rule of law. That will curtail, not eradicate totally, but to limit to a greater extent to know that people now know that our institution will go, not minding who is there.
Okay.
They will do their job.
All right. Before we leave this topic of discussion to the next one, let me quickly ask you this particular question. You talked about getting our best hands in prosecuting government affairs in the country and not considering ethnic nationalities. Do remember that Nigeria is a very, very diversified society with 250 ethnic nationalities. And when you talk about a federation, don't you think if we can get the best hands from a particular national ethnicity, or don't you think others will cry foul of being marginalized?
My brother, you have to understand one thing. What have we done since the president appointed some certain ethnic group in the security agencies of the country? Are you saying that have we revolted? Has anything changed in spite of all the protests in the military, in the army, naval, customs, all other major institutions, security institutions that you can find? What have we done? We haven't done anything. So if we say that those are the best hands in those ethnic groups, we are saying that not minding we are a federation right now. Where we have considered all these ethnic groups, has anything changed? Has anything been so much progressive in what we have seen in the last 6 years? No. So we shouldn't look at that. We should look at our best hands in each area and apply them. That's the way forward. We don't have to look back. The president has turned a blind eye since everybody has been protesting. Everybody, the Southeast is no longer included in this appointment. The Southwest has been neglected here. But he has maintained the North in his appointment in those areas, and nothing has moved.
Okay, Mr. Henry, do remember that there are other positions that Mr. President are equally appointed, people from the southeastern part and from the southwestern part, including the southern part of the country. But let's leave that part of discussion to another this morning. The Nigerian medical practitioners and the Minister of Labor and Productivity, Chris Ngige, are at it again. In fact, while defending the 2022 budget of the Ministry he said before the House of Representatives that the Nigerian federal government will need to sign an undertaking or a bond with Nigerian medical practitioners for them to spend at least 9 years in Nigeria before considering moving out of this country, because their massive drove and their massive movement out of the country is causing a brain drain of the health sector. What's your take on it?
That's the first thing I'll say. And it's ridiculous. And what are we with all due respect to Dr. Ngige, it's a well-astute, trained medical doctor himself. It is not the same condition. You want to put the same condition in 1979 to 2021. I agree. Like, from what he has said, that, okay, the people are trained with almost close to free in Nigeria. We agree to that. We know that it costs so much to train medical personnel abroad, anywhere in the world. But it is laughable to tell people to sign a bond for 9 years. Under what condition have we trained these doctors? What is the GDP of Nigeria 1979 and the GDP of Nigeria today? And you are saying this should be locked down for 9 years. If you are applying that, then it should be applicable to every other profession who are trained with public funds, not just the medical personnel. So I don't agree with him in this regard. Rather, it is pointing to us that are we in a democracy or autocratic democracy where people make laws and people have no say to them? No, this is not acceptable.
But since this particular bickering or this particular forth and back with the ministry, with the Nigerian medical practitioners and the ministry that Mr. Chris Ngige heads has been on for a while now, what would be your proposal to ending this fight?
It's a fighting dialogue, it's a rhetoric. Because it seems like our people have a fixed mindset. They are not listening to people. Things are changing all over the world. And we need to understand that, okay, what are the needs of these people? Why did Saudi Arabia took thousands of our medical personnel away? We have to check and look at the reason why they decide to go that far and go to that part of the world. What are they offering them that we are not doing? Until we make some of these things convenient. You see, it is not only in the medical area. Have you seen people in their droves trying to get out of Nigeria? It's not only about the medical practice alone. So what I would advise that we need to listen to what they are saying, sit with them, and say, okay, this is where we are. We can't meet up this, and when you have reached an agreement, try and meet up with your agreement. That is the way forward. What we have done is that after a few dialogues, we don't meet up with that, and we want them to sit down and fold their hands. It is still in dialogue. Dialogue is the way forward.
Okay.
Because you cannot impose on these people to say that they should sign their lives away for 9 years. No.
Okay.
In my opinion, it's not.
All right. Now let's move away from that as well. There is a particular story in the front page of the Punch newspaper that deals directly with Nigerian aviation industry, where Singaporean, French firms, Baikatni and 10 others jostle for Nigerian 4 international airports. About a total of 13 airport consortia comprising both local and foreign companies are jostling to take over the 4 international airports in the country that the federal government is about to concession them. What's your take on it?
You know, it's still the same thing that we are talking about. Once you don't make our environment conducive for businesses, we will be facing this kind of challenges. This is not the first time we are talking about concession. The first aspect of Murtala Mohammed International Airport was concession as far back as 2003. Where did it end up? In court. So they have asked for request for qualification since August. How many people showed up? Almost 2 or 3. Where are the foreign investors who want to join hands in it? It's because they have discovered that we don't honor our agreements. We want to put capital down and investment down in a country like this. Yes, we need concessioning, but we government keep to their plan. The minister, what is the outcome of the Nigerian Air? We did not see anything comes up from that. So we are talking about the 4 Nigerian airports, major airports that want to concession, and people are not coming forth.
No, they are.
We will not see
Mr. Henry, we have about
one or two people have shown up.
13. We have 13.
13.
Yes.
And they have come up 13.
Yes.
So this set of people that have come up, let us know more. This is just more transparent. It shouldn't take this long for us to see concessioning work. The Gatwick Airport in England was concession. A Nigerian also got into that, and he has brought into several other airports. But when it comes to Nigeria, there is investment apathy. People are scared that Nigerians will not honor the agreement. Even this 13, and I can assure you that either directly or indirectly, some of them will pull away because they are sure that the government will not honor the agreement.
Okay. Lastly, before I let you go, Mr. Henry Shefowora, now do remember that we have both local and foreign firms under the consortium coming for the concession. Where do you expect the pendulum to swing, to the foreign or to the local, considering the business and investment aspect of it?
A time has to come that we have to embrace our indigenous companies. But what I would say is that because of the current economic situation in the world, we need a collaboration with major investors offshore to come in. Normally, you see today like this, where the pendulum will swing towards the foreign investor. But in my own take, that should be a stronger reliance on the local companies, so that we can support our own.
All right.
Because it has to be taken back home for us to actually make progress in our economic development.
All
that
right.
is the best way to go.
Okay, Mr. Henry Shefowora is a public affairs analyst joining us this morning virtually. Thank you very much for your time, Mr. Henry.
Thank you for having me.
You're very much welcome. Many thanks for watching. You can send Eyewitness Report to info@highimpactstudios.com. Direct messages on all our social media platforms. You can also send feedbacks on social media platforms. I'm Oyin Priye Krumale.